Assalamu alaikum, sisters and brothers. Welcome. Sulaiman Rahim here, Messenger of the Covenant, break of the 7 seals. Brothers and sisters, I got quite a few things I want to talk about today. I pretty much made my mind that this may be my last presentation. What's going on here? My last presentation to the war starts. Not totally committed to that yet, but pretty much. So I'm going to cover a few things today that I haven't talked about before. A little philosophy, if you would call it that. Brothers and sisters, you have, it's kind of amazing how you have all these folks out there. They want to be the God. They want to be the 7th angel. They want to be the 25th scientist, right? On and on and on. It's like, the Christians think they want to go to heaven, live forever without end. And they have these ideas in their mind, and they have no idea what they're talking about. Because if living forever without end, if that was a good thing, we would never have invented death. And death didn't have to occur. But see, the scientists, they see things differently and a lot of things they don't say to other people because it's discouraging. They wouldn't understand it. And the scientists are the loneliest people on the planet. You want to be a scientist? Those are the loneliest people on the planet. They say there's 25 of them. They're the loneliest people because we don't talk to. They can talk to each other. They can't communicate with you because the level they talk, you have no understanding what they're talking about. And the 25th scientist, he's all by himself. So certain things he can't talk to anybody about that they understand. He's the loneliest person in the universe. That's why he's a hermit. They say only manifests itself every 72 trillion years. Or 76 trillion years. They want to be these things. So let me get you to understand a few things. The 25th scientists, right? They say that was the being that everything came from, the Quran talks about in the beginning. So it was one being, right? From all life came. Now that being was in the center of the earth, because the earth is the center of the universe. He was in the center of the earth, the exact center. Under intense pressure, the whole universe was collapsed upon him, upon it. Not him. He wasn't a gender at that point. That individual was not engender at that point. Just one being. Do you understand what that means? When the universe totally contracted, right? That's like you have no room to move. There's no space to move in. Everything's compressed. So the being was there, and his body was just as its mind. Didn't have arms and legs because it couldn't move. It's like a tree, just there. And no one knows how long the individual was there. In total triple darkness by itself. Because there was no stars and moons and suns to determine the time. Some estimate millions of years, some estimate thousands of years, some, I haven't heard, billions of years, alone in the center of the universe, alone in total triple darkness. All mind. Mind so powerful it could see from one end of the universe to the other. From now until beginning to the end. Mind so powerful, but alone and immobile. Not move. But a powerful mind, most powerful all mine, in a state of bliss, but still alone in total triple darkness for who knows how long. Now, what is that like? Would you want to be like that? That's what it means. You want to be a 25th scientist, because 25th scientist would gladly pass that on to you if it was possible. Unknown ages of time, who knows, thousands of years, millions of years, whatever, love to our time, alone. Before it was able to start developing a body, because now you have room to move around in. Because your body is an extension of your brain. When you see a child, right, in embryo, first the brain comes forth and brings forth the body after that. So you look at that individual like he was in the womb, because the earth is our womb. And first come forth the mind. Elijah Muhammad taught you that. He said first the mind came and he brought forth his body. Elijah Muhammad taught you that much. So all mine. Embryonic stage, all mine. Right? Because in the womb, you're trapped in that womb. You can't move around at first. And then you start making room for yourself. You're that egg. You can't move in there. You're totally compressed. It's the same thing, same process. That's why the Quran tells you, look around in the universe, you can learn many things because the process repeats itself. That's what the original being was like. Same thing. Like sperm and the egg. He was a sperm, Earth's an egg, and that individual's in there alone, total triple darkness, had developed the brain, and therefore then the body came forth after he had to move around in. And then at some point in time it started reproducing itself. Who knows, millions of years later, billions of years later? Alone in total triple darkness. So that's what you want? Huh? And those people think, oh, I'm going to live forever and ever without end. If someone told me that was my fate, I would go immediately insane. I wouldn't want that. I wouldn't even want to live more than 1,000 years. I don't want to live that long. Because after some point, what? You're not going to remember everything. After if you live 1,000 years, you probably wouldn't even remember when you was born, your parents' name, anything. I mean, your brain, your memory is part of brain cells. You ain't got but so many of them. You're not going to increase them. See, they think they want something they don't really know what they're talking about. So it's been up to modern times. You have the same process right now. I don't know if any of you catching on anything, like I said, something I say directly, something indirectly, but I can't talk to you at this point in time like a kindergarten. I say, okay, here's A, here's B, here's C, here's D, And I don't even want to go there. I keep mentioning this is one body. That's why you have a brain to think. Somebody teach you how to add, and they just have to go to story time. You have to add something up. Once they teach you the process, then you should be able to apply it. So I'm teaching the process. You should be able to apply it. So I said one body. And that body has different cells. Brain cells, toe cells, butt cells, you name it. So the 25 science, they're the brain cells. It's not the only brain cells, they're the core of the brain, the essence. And 25th science is the essence. He's the, right? He's at the center, got it all. have the same process now as we had in the beginning, because the original nation is suffering because they're most complicated of the nations. They need more energy to take care of it because their body is more complex, so it needs more energy, right, to maintain it. So therefore, instead, energy deprivation. But if that's the case, that means the 25 scientists, they'll be even more suffering, even more than the nation itself, because they're even more complex than they are. And 25th scientist was suffering more. That's why he said he looked like he was slain from the foundation of the earth. He suffered more than anybody. That's what the whole story about the Christ and all that kind of stuff. He suffered so much of the cross, suffered the sins of the world, all this kind of stuff. I'm trying to tell you. They're talking about, in general, 25th scientists, I mean, specifically, but in general, they're talking about the original nation. We all suffered. But he suffered the worst because he's more complex than anyone else. That's why I talk about elevated places in the Quran. It says they know everything, but, everybody else got more than, more blessings than they have in that sense, if you understand what they're trying to say. Right? More energy, but, you understand the language. So what we have here, we have a body that's dead and immobile. It's paralyzed. So this is what it looks like now. From my perspective, Suleiman is laying in the bed with a body that's paralyzed. He can't move it. Totally conscious, can talk, can see everything, but he cannot move his body. It's paralyzed. He's laying there paralyzed, cannot move it. He's trying to move it, right? And then you got these doctors and nurses, they're right? What do you call it? A therapist and stuff, physical therapist. And plus, you got to keep the body clean and turn it over so it don't get sore and all that kind of stuff. Maintain, take care of it, while the body's trying to heal itself, and while the mind's trying to get the body from being paralyzed again. Just laying there. But see, when the doctors and nurses, they're all Levites. See, they ain't doing their job. So that body gets sores and stuff. Some just walked away, left the body, hey man, he ain't gonna. So walked away from it. He ain't gonna never walk again. I worry about him, anybody looking. That's the scenario. That's the way I see it. Because that's what they're supposed to do, maintain it. Right? Because that's how their priest tribe. They're supposed to maintain it, right? While the mind is concentrating on trying to get that body moving again. It's paralyzed, just laying there. And so it's just like the beginning of the universe. It's just laying there, can't move. Can't move. But it's aware of everything. But just can't move the body. Paralyzed. And just constantly, everything trying to move. It won't move. See? And then it says eventually, he keeps trying, and then he finally gets it to move. A little toe here, a little finger here, whatever, until he finally gets the whole body to stand up. That's the story. And that's what happened. Same thing as the process beginning. It's just on a different side of the universe now. He's paralyzed. His one body is paralyzed, though. The body's paralyzed. That's what means dead. Lazarus is dead. But see, Suleiman is standing over Lazarus. He is Lazarus. He's inside Lazarus. He's trying to get Lazarus moving. He's suffering because he can't get Lazarus to move. Because Lazarus is his legs. Lazarus is his arms. Lazarus is his feet. Lazarus is... You understand what I'm saying? It ain't like he's still on the sideline. He's moving everything else. No, that's why he's suffering. Because he can't get that body to move. Because we're paralyzed. And all the caretakers, they're not doing their job, not taking care of us, so the guy got sores and everything else. Because they can move around, but they ain't doing their job. That's why now you understand why Suleiman don't have a whole bad taste in his mouth about the Levites. Because we down and out, they're not they're not doing the care they should be doing. I mean, they're not abusing, but they ain't doing anything. Some of them are abusing. Some actually going in, taking hits. Now, you know, in nursing home, some going there. I mean, he had some of them. Some had guys going in and raping the paralyzed women and carrying on. So some of them are doing that. Mm-hmm. That's why he got bad taste in my father Levites. Because that was their job, to take care of that body until the body was able to recover. And they ain't doing that. See? Now you understand? Because that's not an analogy, that's exactly what's happening here. See? That's why Shrew has to raise his body. Because he can't move in nothing until his body moves. His mind is clear, he's sharp, but he has to move that, but that body is dead, he can't move, it's paralyzed. So he's Clyde, they want to be, you know, like that seventh angel. You know, seventh angel is the devil. See, they don't know what the F they're talking about. They want to be this, they want to be that, one this, right? And they're going to pay the price for that BS because they're part of the reason why Lazarus is paralyzed and why it takes so long for him to move. Because it's not only that Suleiman has to get Lazarus to move, but they're putting weights on the legs of Lazarus, tying him down, handcuffs and everything else. So that makes it even more difficult. See? But Lazarus does stand up, he's going to remember everything. Because see, Lazarus is paralyzed, but he ain't stupid. He's paralyzed, but he's not dumb. He's paralyzed, but he's conscious, he's got a memory. So he can see everything's happening to him. He just can't do anything about it right now. But when the day of his wrath comes, what do you think his attitude is going to be about all those people around him that was doing what they was doing, but not doing what they were supposed to be doing? Think about it. We're going to move on, brothers and sisters. But see this little thing I got, pyramid. See that pyramid there? The top of the pyramid, that's the scientists. They're the loneliest people on the planet. And that's what you want to be? I say, Suma, he's a hermit. He's more lonely than anybody else. That's what you want to be? You think you really understand this? You understand a goddamn thing. You don't. So you keep walking around, prancing around with your bullshit. We got news for you. See, you got this crazy idea that Christians gave you, you just come back with a rose and all that kind of stuff. No. When he get up out of that bed, you don't remember how he got in that bed, first of all, how he was treated while he was in the bed, and how the caretakers were taking care of him, right? They was neglecting him or even abusing him. He don't know all of that. And his name is justice, consequence. That's the primary attribute of the law. That's why judgment. Don't you understand anything? If there wasn't a consequence, there would be a judgment. So he's not coming back forgiving. If he's forgiving, that's not a judgment. If he's forgiving, there's no real judgment. Judgment is if you got to pay for what you've done. Consequence, that's what judgment is, consequence. So he comes back as a judge. And he says you're going to pay for everything you've done. But if he's going to give you mercy, there will be no need for a judgment. So if that doesn't make clear enough for you, brothers, sisters, well, what can I tell you? You just have to experience it. It says, the day of his wrath has come, not the day of his mercy has come. Who is the mercy going to be? Mercy going to be, he says, what this Quran says? Allah has ordained mercy on himself. Did you read it? He said he ordained mercy on himself. That means on his own body. He don't blame his body for being paralyzed. You better read this stuff again. He ordained mercy on himself. That's a Farrakhan. He's trying to blame the body for being paralyzed. Y'all so wicked. Y'all see, he ordained mercy on himself. He gonna blame it to be paralyzed like Farrakhan. No, you paralyzed yourself because you're sinful. We got news for him. We already had his ass blown up. He think that's a small piece of what he's got coming. Anyway, brothers and sisters, let's move on. Okay. Petra, I'm still going to the same subject, brothers and sisters. I'm just add a little more things as we go along, because that's where we're at right now. I don't know if you watched the news last night. They're complaining right now openly. We ran out of diesel. We ran out of diesel. And do you know what that means? That means you won't have any gas in your car in a few days. That means they won't be any food in the stores in a few days because they can't deliver it. You got famine hitting, coming hard, and they're not doing anything about it. Why? What's going on? They run out of diesel. They run out of petrol. Petrol Wars, Deep Dark Secrets. That's from Revealing to you, bro. So I got a couple more things. I got a couple more for you. Right? Deep Dark Secrets. Petrol Wars. Okay, this gets back to what I was talking about initially about the Levites, right? So I'm going to spend a little more. Now, I'm not going to read this whole thing here. This is about Jonah. No, but Jonah is the only sign that we're given this. They don't understand what that means. That'd be the only sign, but you got to be able to read the sign. I mean, it's the only sign we're given this wicked generation. So you should be studying Jonah to find what that sign is. I mentioned a couple of things. One is that Jonas would be a failed prophet in the sense that he made a prophecy that didn't come true, but it wasn't his fault. Because he was against that, but the God told him to do it, and he did it, and he refused to do it at first. He ended up 3 years on Demon's Island because he refused to make a prophecy he knew that God wasn't going to fulfill. He knew that God wasn't going to. He said, the God told him to make this prophecy. Master Muhammad said, make this prophecy. He refused to do it. But he said, I know you're not going to do that, what you want me to prophesy to do. He ended up on 3 years on Demon's Island, out in the Pacific, out on the ground for it. Then he came back and did it, and it didn't happen. 40 years later, in 1975, right, 2015, if you read Daniel, if you understand Belshazzar and Belteshazzar, that Belshazzar, he was the king of Babylon. Belshazzar is a black man, that's Obama, and it was taken down by Darius, who was Rod, during his reign. And that didn't happen. It was right there and there. It didn't happen. Because it wouldn't take down to him. But he was told to tell people that was going to happen. 40 years later, it didn't. And he did that. He did it faithfully. It didn't happen. And then he took hit for it. His family abandoned everybody else. They said, man, you're a false prophet. But that was the problem. That's the story of Jonah. It wasn't Jonah's fault. God did that. And Jonah was right. So what's that all about? Jonah was right. The God was wrong. But Jonah took hit for it. He suffered. He got punished for doing. What is that all about? That's the story. Read it. So Jonah did. No. I was faithful. I mean, if I'm going to do it, do it right. So I had my concern. I said, no, it's going to happen. It's God said it's going to happen. It's going to happen. I ain't going to say, God said it might happen. Well, no. And then it didn't happen. Obama wasn't the last president. In fact, Elijah Muhammad said it himself. He said, the last president of the United States was a black man. He said that. And there's nobody around anymore. There's only a few people around, just, right? And there's only about a couple of them that was in Chicago when he said it. He said himself, he had Minister James Shabazz, Minister Yusuf Shah, come and tell us like on a Wednesday night. He came especially to the temple. And he said, I got a special message from you for the messenger. He The message said the last president of the United States is going to be a black man. That's what he said. It always stuck with me. And even when I started understanding Angel, I said, I can see that in there. I understood the story of Jandy, but Angel didn't say that. And so I resisted when that time came. And I ended up on 3 years on Demon's Island because I left. I left the country. I didn't want to go to NY and tell them anything, nothing, zero, for other reasons. And I had 3 hours, and I said, okay, I give up. I came back and did it, and that didn't happen. I'm telling everybody, Obama's going to be the last president. And he wasn't. And that's the story of Jonah. I ain't making it up, that's the story. And said Jonah was so angry, he wanted to die. He said, just kill me, I'd rather be dead. Right? Because you put me in a little spot you put me in. Now they're like a false prophet. He's talking to God now. Him and the God's having it out. Read the story. Him and the God's having it out. So you make me look like a fool out here. I knew you wasn't going to do it. I was right. I spent 3 years out there on Demon's Island because of it. I come out here, you don't do it, and everybody think I'm a false prophet. I'm putting all this time and work and effort into doing, getting this thing, doing this job, and then you make me look like a fool. And how much, that's going to make my job harder, because nobody's going to listen to me anymore after that. That's the story. And pissed off, you better be, he was really pissed off. I was, oh man, I was fit to be tied. Super angry. I didn't like that. That's one of the worst things that ever happened in my life. I didn't like it. Because I always stood for truth. And then I got slammed down for standing for truth like that by the God himself. I didn't like that. I didn't like it at all. Read it. Dylan did not like it. He was really pissed off about it. But that was a sign. Only a sign. She said, man, how's that a sign? To give this wicked generation. I'm not going into more detail in that, brother and sisters, but read the story. Does it make any sense to you? How God says a prophet and force him to prophesy a certain thing? And then when he doesn't do it, he punishes him. And then when he comes back and does it, then he makes him like a fool because he don't feel the punishment. He don't fulfill the prophecy that he made him, force him to prophesy. That's the story. So you need to lead your brothers and sisters, because I got a lot of things I want to talk about, and I'm not going to, but I'm going to go into a couple of things on this. So it's 2 chapters, I think it's the 4th and 5th chapters I'm showing here, right? So you can read at your leisure. So I'm going to talk about it though. Okay, what I'm going to show you here is how the angel key works, right? Now it says, a couple of things it talks about. It says, the God refused to do it. Right? Okay, first of all, Nineveh. When they read it carefully, it's about Nineveh, the great city, and Nineveh. There's 2 different people right there. Now, Nineveh, the great city, said with 3 days walk apart, 3,000 miles across. That's America. That's America, 3,000 miles across. Right? But come from the East Coast, it says Nineveh, the great city, with 3 miles. That's America. But Nineveh, I had that whole presentation about this out there somewhere on YouTube. But Nineveh was 1 day's journey, it means 1,000 miles in. So Nineveh, 2. So that, because America is 3,000 miles across, but Chicago is 1,000 miles in from the East Coast. So Nineveh represents the nation of Islam. Nineveh, the great city, represents America. See? That's another thing they don't get. They say the same thing. That's why Farrakhan he got saved. Now, he had no idea what he's talking about. Right? So get that straight. Nineveh represents the nation of Islam. Nineveh, the great city, represents all the United States. Okay? There's some blinking Nineveh here. Now what happened was, when Jonah finally went and prophesied, right? Okay, God said the reason why he didn't do it, because there's 120,000 there. Now, why do you use these numbers? See, you think they throw these numbers around. People are starting to learn more about angel find these numbers mean something. You just got to figure out what they mean. There's 120,000 don't know their right hand from their left. And what does that mean? Okay, you see here's one in the middle. If you go down, there's 12 levels there. And if you read chapter, I believe it's chapter 7 in Revelation, each one represents 12,000. 12,000 tribes, right? So if you count down, right, 10 times, that's 120,000. So that means 10 levels of these they're talking about don't know the right hand from the left. That means 2 levels too. Because 12 levels altogether. So 10 levels is 120,000. So other 2 levels, right, that'd be 24,000. But it says only 120,000 don't know their right from the left. What are we talking about here? Okay, look here. You see the middle right there, you see the demons? See the left on the top? Same color, right? All the way down. On the bottom down here, I got American, Britain. But I'm putting that in there to show you what they mean. But they're all white. They're all the same color. The only one have a different color is the 2 levels there, the demons. That means the right hand is different than the left hand. So they can discern their right from their left. What am I talking about? those the ones that don't know their left hand from the right hand from the left hand. And the reason why he's saying that, because in particular period in time, right, well, that makes a difference. I'm not going to the chronological aspect of it, but that's what we're talking about. Somebody's other one, they don't know the right hand from the left. Only one knows the right hand from the left, right? Are those. That's the 2 levels, because they're different. One's red. There's so much information in that right there I'm not going to. They're trying to tell you a lot of stuff there. That's what's going on there. That's why they say it like that. 120,000 don't know their right from left, but 24,000 do. That's because it's 144,000 altogether. That's what it means there. So you brothers, sisters that study it, you go and study that and learn more from it. I'm not going to, Oh, before I go there, let me finish this, and I got something else I wanted to mention. I forgot. I'm sure Nineveh, see it's blinking there. Now it says, Nineveh repented. Now what's that talking about? It didn't say Nineveh, a great city. Nineveh repented. See? And it says that the king, right, when he discovered it, he set down the dust and covered himself with sackcloth. Okay, we know Syria, I neglected to put that there, I forgot. Syria and Iran represent sackcloth. And remember, American Britain represents the dust of the earth. That's what it's talking about. It's talking about the nation of Islam is going to repent of Farrakhan once this war starts. I've been telling you, that's what it's talking about. Because they repent so he didn't destroy them. Because Jonah wanted to destroy it. He got pissed off, said, I want them destroyed. And God said, I'm not going to do it. See? Because partly, right, they're part of the group that know their right hand from their left. I said I wouldn't go into it any deeper, but I guess I did. They're part of the group that knows their right hand from their left. So he wasn't going to do it to them. He wasn't going to destroy them. He was going to give them one more chance. So that's when the war starts, I told you, it says the sun becomes black. That's what it means the sun becomes black, because they're there. They're the black horse. Suman comes there. And they repent. They repent of Farrakhan. That's in Exodus where they were separated. Moses came back and separated them and wiped out all those that was with Farrakhan, with Aaron. So they repent. That's what it says in Mark, right? They saw Suman coming and they immediately came repent. And then that pissed off Legion. Farrakhan, what are you doing here? Why are you tormenting me? And he said torment because he was being exposed. And he was cast out. That's what the story is, brothers and sisters. So I'm going to leave that there. And I'm going to get to the point I was going to make just a second ago. See, so I'm telling you, I'm showing you why It's not that Suleiman hates the Levites, but it's telling you they got a history. And that's why he feels that, not feel, but that's why he looks at them the way he looks at them, because, they've never been helpful. Right? They always fail in their mission. And about missions. I said I'm waxing a little philosophical here, brothers and sisters. The book Esther Ladies, most you should stay away from that book. It's because you don't understand it, and it's very depressing. That book was written actually for the scientists. It wasn't written for you. Muhammad didn't understand it. He said made things a lot about it. It wasn't absolutely correct, because he was saying, you only live one life and that's it, and that's not what the Quran says, but that's what it says in Escalades, but you understand what he's talking about. And how life is meaningless and vain. Oh, I'm not good about this, because it'll be too discouraging for you. But in every period of time, people have like the Quran says, in other words, every time in season, every season there's certain things happen, right? And if you're in that season, if you have a purpose, that's a blessing. Because in this time right now, the biggest blessing you could have in this period of time right now, if you're an original person, is being given a purpose. Because how people walk around aimless without a purpose. Lazarus is dead, he doesn't have a purpose. Myself, I didn't have a purpose. I had my visions when I was a child, but I didn't know what to make of them. Right? And the only thing that guided me, because I had no parents or anything, was I just want to do the right thing. Figure out what the right thing is and do it no matter what. And I was extreme in that. I did some extreme things based on that principle. That's what brought me to Elijah Muhammad. And he gave me somewhat of a purpose, but then he was gone. That was just, I knew he was going to leave because I understood scripture, but it still didn't make it feel any better. So now I was aimless. So I just went after, his basic teachings, right? Do for self. And I did. I was doing very well doing for self. But I had no aim or purpose. I wanted to keep where I was going, alive, but still I had really no aim or purpose. Then I stumbled on an angel. And that gave me my wings. Because I was falling. I didn't realize it. I was falling into the American dream. I was falling into that vortex. I was going to crash and burn. See? Because I don't know. There was no future. I had no vision of a future. I just was doing for self, take care of my family. So I really had no real vision. Because Elijah Muhammad really never left you with a real vision. Because the vision people had, he was the vision. That was the problem. Elijah Muhammad made himself the vision. And everybody was thinking that a lot of people was depressed when he left because they didn't think that would happen. They thought he was going to take us home. That was a common idea. We had a big old picture in the FY meetings of Elijah Muhammad on the boat, with us all on the boat, taking off, and all the Negro butts or whatever, demons there on the shore getting their ass kicked by Massa. And we said, that was the vision. Whether you understood it or not, your vision was Elijah was going to take us, he was the one going to take us home. When he left, the vision dispelled, disappeared, and that destroyed a lot of people. Because it says, without a vision, people perish. And the Israelites perished, he had no vision. So that way, everybody come in and give him any vision they want to. Farrakhan come in and give him all this American dream vision. That's what Walls tried to get, that American dream vision. The vision that Elijah Muhammad was trying to get out of our minds, they give it back to him. Because he had no other vision. So that they took that vision. American dream vision. They interpreted it like, do for self. Right? That's American, they did translate it they want to, but there was no conflict. there was no opposition to that. Even Salas and all them, they didn't counter that vision. They should be the one leading it. Because you hear me talk about the promised land or anything else. You understand what I'm saying? So people that have vision perish. And I was one of them. I didn't realize it. I was very successful in the American dream. Had a mini mansion, 5 bathrooms and many bedrooms and 3 stories and a detachable house that had a garage under the bottom of it and a room on top, and a lot of piece of land. It was in Orange, New Jersey. I mean, it was a beautiful place. My family and everything, doing well, got my own business, computer business carrying on. But I have a vision. Didn't have any vision. I knew about pressure and things, but I had a general vision. I mean, I knew something this was going to happen. I couldn't pin it down. I understood the mechanism of pressure at that point, right? And compared to life, how much teachers, but how we would get home and all that kind of stuff. I mean, and then I fell upon the angel. I got my wings because I was about to crash and burn. I was about that close from the ground. A second later, I was about to crash, splatter. And I caught those wings, boy. Whew. Those wings lifted me up higher and higher and higher. And now I'm flying. See? Because that vision. And the vision is clear and it's sharp. Wow, I spread my wings, saved my life. A vision. Without vision, people perish. A perfect vision. Now I got my wings, boy. Can you imagine that? Like a bird, mama dropped out the nest, and the bird just about hit the wings, just about hit the ground, splat, and then, oh, mom is so happy. So happy. He found that boy, he's on it. The boy, just about, just in time. I got those wings, brothers and sisters. See? And I've been trying to give those wings to everyone else. I see people crashing and burning every day. Crashing and burning every day. And the angel had a couple other sets of wings to give to certain people. Now, just because someone gives you wings, like the bird that hits the ground, he had wings, didn't use them. So it's a beautiful thing to be given wings, brothers and sisters, in this period of time. Remember, every period of time is different. It has different expectations, different attributes to it. Every situation. So we're in this time right now. Right? And that made me think of something else. I don't know if I should talk about it. I had so many things I want to talk about, before I close out. But to be given an aim and a purpose, given a special book, that's the most beautiful thing that can happen to you in this period of time. It's like giving an angel. And now I can give wings to other people if they want them. And they can fly high. Because anybody's starting injuring and starting to, use their wings, they can see, man, it's a whole different than when you just falling, free falling. And they can see everybody else free falling. We got people flat, hitting, splashing every day. Having your wings. People without vision perish. And injure your vision. It's your mind. Said, I was falling fast. I didn't realize it. American people, I thought that was it. I'll be enjoying deeper and deeper in that gravitational vortex. When I got those wings, I flew right out of it. I didn't waste time. I didn't look around. I started flapping. I got the hell out. I flew right out of it. I'm way above it now. I'm way above that gravitational vortex. Don't have control of me anymore. Hope you understand, brothers and sisters. I'm going to get into something else. This little off segue here, brothers and sisters. I think do I don't want to do another special. I want to make this the last one. I'm gonna have to do a special one because I've talked about this before. But you know what the angel says about the Bible and the Quran? If you read it, right? I think it's on the third day. I think it is, or second day, right? It says talking about the greater light and the lesser light. And the greater light was first, and less light came 5 years after it. Well, the greater light was the Bible. Less light, right, was 5 years later. It's the Quran. Oh man, the Quran's better. Well, whatever. I'm not getting that kind of nonsense. The point is, you know what is revealing there? I've never said this before because it's just probably too much for most people to understand. But read it carefully. It says that the entire Bible, not the Old Testament, New Testament, the entire Bible was revealed 2,000 years ago. At the same time, not 4,000 years earlier. That's what it says right there. The greater light was all revealed at one time. It was like they telling you, because when they had the Nicene Conference, they just make all those crazy decisions and everything else. And that's part of hiding the truth, because that's how they say that's history. Because they claim Moses wrote some of those books, the Old Testament, 4,000 years ago. When the scriptures say all those books were revealed 2,000 years ago. There's, a lot of scriptures that you think of mythology, those are scriptures they had before the Bible. The false Jews had something else. They didn't have the Old Testament. What they call the Old Testament. They didn't have that. That's what it says. We study it. I already put a presentation out, but I never explained like that. I just said, I let people assume they talk about the New Testament. No. The entire Bible, as you know it, Old Testament and New Testament. And what does that impact that means? That means all this bullshit telling that's history is a lie, because that that's what like Muhammad says, is that 16,000 years ago when they wrote these books, that it's all of we haven't got all of them yet. The last one we got so far is the angel, the Quran, the angel. But we got 9,000 years history still left to go. And like Muhammad said, even there's going to be a new book given after, because this angel just takes you up until we finally get rid of the devil and everything else, we're back home. Angel stops there. It stops there. Then you have a new book to go into the next phase. The Quran was only 4,000, approximately 1,000 years. All those books. What was the book Abraham had? Where's that book? Where's books? Where's the book Abraham had? You want to say the Old Testament? Is that what you're going to try to tell me? Not according to the Old Testament, because it said Moses wrote the Old Testament. Moses came after Abraham, didn't he? So what book did Abraham have then? He didn't have the Quran. He had a book, he talked to God. So what book did he have? Because if you say that Moses wrote the Old Testament, then what book did Abraham have when he came after Moses? When Moses came after him? See a trick, brothers and sisters? They got tricks for you. So I'm going to keep revealing these things to you, brothers and sisters, but right now I'm trying to get a lot in today. I'm still seriously thinking about replacing my voice in other situations. I'm okay now. I mean, my voice is still messed up. But they had me gone for a few days. They had this thing I thought was asthma, and turned out to be something more serious. And then I had this rash that was swimming all over my body. It was really bad. I can show you pictures, boys. Like, I thought I had monkeypox. And then this last couple of days, it was gone. So what's next? They really tried to do me in. Plus, my systems keep crashing, so it doesn't matter because their time is up. But if you want to go, I got a presentation. It's an old one. It's about a year old, I think. Look at it carefully. It says that the greater light, read Genesis, the greater light is in the same day. The greater light came first, less light 5 years later. Less light is Quran. Quran was given to the original people, and the Bible was given to the devils. Oh, well, see? The sealed Bible. See? Because the Bible is unsealed, that'll be the last revelation. We understand, brothers and sisters. Because it was a greater light. See? Okay, brothers and sisters, let me move on. Okay, I'm not going to say too much about this clown here. But it's totally obvious here. Just Google. Oops. Too far. Just Google. He says, Farrakhan said, my father's parents was white Portuguese Jews. That would make his father a Jew. White Portuguese. He's a demon. He's a devil in blackface. He's a Jew. He even says it in the thing. He says he used to love to hear Jewish music and all that kind of stuff. That's why I said Satan casting out Satan. He claims casting out Satan. Well, who would cast out Satan? Satan would. So if you still deceived, I ain't gonna mess up you, brothers, because the male carries a seed. His father's the devil. But his mother was raped by this dog, his father. And so that's it. She tried to abort him. She wasn't successful. But he's doing a great job because he's bringing all the, he's like a lightning rod. He's bringing all the demons to him. He's a demon. He's legion. Louis Eugene Grounds, the NOI back. The NOI way back was Aaron, the liar, the deceiver, accusing our people. But when the war comes, I accuse our brother will be cast down. He's about to be cast down. And you think them blowing his ass up, Satan blowing his ass up, Satan casting out Satan, that was, he got a lot more coming than that. Okay? He's the son of perdition. Be not deceived. The falling away will come first, then the man's sin. But he changed it around. Watch on Sunday. They say it then because, oh no, because he's revealing son of perdition, it's according to him. Now they're falling away. While they say be not deceived, it would be the falling away first, because he'll try to deceive you, things all the way around. But the falling away came when Islam fell away because they destroyed it. They got rid of something called Balalians. Right? I was there, firsthand, I witnessed, firsthand, in Chicago. Okay? I knew Wallace. I knew him. I knew all of them. I filmed at Muhammad Street newspaper, the night format. I knew all of them. So I know what I'm talking about. Okay? So when the fall away came first, then he was revealed. And so you had reigned about 42 years. Deceived the elect. I mean, he would deceive the elect. He would deceive the saints. That's Elijah Muhammad's army, NOI. Anyway, brothers and sisters. So, there's a dad. See the resilience? Check it out. His dad's Caucasian, Portuguese. Google it. It's right there. Okay. Okay, let's move on, brothers and sisters. And I'm not talking about this, but birthright here. They're trying to show a birthright. Esau is trying to, he sold his birthright to us. That's the Africans, Levite. Now they want it back. They're trying to trick us into getting it back. And demons, they're trying to steal our very nature. If they look like us, walk us, talk us, they ain't us. They're trying to steal our very nature. The false Jews trying to steal identity, but this clown's trying to steal our very nature. Mm-hmm. Battle cry. If I move this very quickly, bumps, like I said, quite a few things. Demon diversion. I don't know if my voice can hold up. So I'm gonna walk this pattern quickly, but I advise you if you're interested, just go and look at the previous one because I don't think I'm gonna add. Well, I'm gonna add a couple of something to this, add something each day, right? Demon diversion. So when we talk about has energy, get energy wave every 50, popular every 50 years. Positive ones start 1860, because now the universe is contracting. So now we start being energized from all the energy that used to be here is out there. So now it's coming back and coming back in ways it's momentous in the heavens and the earth, but it comes you above a sudden. That's what the Quran says. And so now the earth, we see the wave is being absorbed. The earth is converted. It's been absorbed by the earth. It's converted to a form we can use. And we absorb that energy at a rate of so much per day, 24-hour period. Right? We get energized every 24 hours. That's our life cycle. And if we don't get enough energy to complete the whole 24 hours, then it means we sleep. Right? Okay. So 1860 was the first one. Okay, so 1860 right here, what happened? I talked about this. I'm not going into all the details, bonuses, like I said. Go read my previous ones. But all this, well, I'm not going to do it, bonuses. Right? Because my voice about to go is quite a bit here. Right? But we are the creators. Right? We have creative ability, and that's why one reason I have here, because all this innovation that you see in the planet today, where it's coming from? America. It's not coming from Germany, France, Italy, none of the European countries, but they're supposed to be superior, right? So why is it not coming from them? All innovations come from here. Why just here? Not from China or anyplace else. They just copy it because it's coming from us. I'm not going into any details. Look at previous presentation explains that. So anyway, as we get more energy, more creativity, our minds are controlling this universe. Everything you see in the world came to existence from somebody's mind. So we born in this new industrial age because it changed our condition. So Allah does not change anyone's condition, it changes our condition. We change our condition because our mind born in a new reality that got us off the farms, broke our chains, and the Industrial Revolution no longer needs on the farms anymore. That came out of our minds, not theirs. But they control it since we blocked here and there under them. They control our ideas. That's talk about patents and all that kind of stuff to keep control. That's another story. Because if you got a lawyer or something, right? Then he'll go, the lawyer would tell, he'd discourage you from trying to get the patent, will tell you somebody's already came with or some BS, and then he'd go give it to his friend or family member or something, and then they take credit for it. Same thing in the music industry. They took control of it. See? Take control of our music and everything else, but it's ours. This innovation is ours. But they're not going to tell you ever. Anyway, and music is music. The music on the planet, the dominant music on the planet is us. Because music is an expression of our mood. Right? So a new mood came up. Blues. Because whose mood was blues? That's what we were. We just said blues. In 1860, when after the Civil War, we were supposed to be free, all that kind of, we said it was blues. So blues came, that's when blues went before that, right? Industrial, right? Complex came up at that point, right? Electricity, the combustion engine, all that stuff freed us up from being on the plantation anymore, right? Because that came out of minds. Mm-hmm. And also the ideology, because we were plagued by demons, because they raped our women and us for over 40 years, producing a hybridization of demons, means black-skinned devils. They're not us, they're master children, but they look like us, can walk like a talk like they us. See? And that was it. And so you once was able to make those decisions, master children chose to stay on the farms, slave sharecropping with master. They want to stay, see, and we was in chains, they was in master's house, because they was master children, and we was in the fields. But we didn't have a choice at that point. But once they had a choice, they chose to stay with master. I sharecropping and carrying on. And we chose to get the hell out of here, get in the cities. See? Sharecroppers, see, two different mindsets. Because two different people, they might look like wolves in sheep clothing, but they two different natures. So I'm not going to go a lot of detail in this, because like I said, I got a few other things I want to talk about here. So what about 50 years later? Notice that every 50 years this happens, right? Google everything we say we can prove, brothers. It's not like those lies. We can prove everything. You can lie. We can know the truth here. That was a lie right there. They lied from start to finish. 50 years later, I knew. Aerodynamics. Something you couldn't have comprehended 50 years earlier. When we was in the fields, we couldn't have comprehended an automobile, plane, all that. That was nobody thought like that. I mean, it wasn't even Then all of a sudden there was in the 20s, 50 years later, right? New age, aerodynamics, automobiles, airplanes. Google it, brothers and sisters. And then new music. We had a new mood then, a mood change. Now we got jazz, feel a little jazzy. Why? See, the ideology, because now you had two different mindsets again. Marcus Garvey mindset, which included Elijah, Master Muhammad, all that, right? The Afrocentric. Start thinking about our people. We didn't know anything about Africa, nothing before that. Afrocentric. And then you got Philip Douglass. No, think like white people. Eurocentric. Be like them. Talk like them. Learn like them. See, two different mindsets. Greater division. Make greater separation. And jazz. Eurocentric, two different mindsets. Mindsets, first start out with house niggas, field niggas. Then went to sharecroppers and city slickers, right? And now it's going from Eurocentric, the mind, right? Afrocentric. Greater division. Here's me one, brothers and sisters. 50 years later, in the 1960s, that's 100 years from 1860s, right? And what's happening there? Oh, a different mood. Motown. We got a different mood now. Play it loud. Black and proud. You got even, what's his name? James Brown and carrying on. They down wearing froze and stuff. Right? New technology. Computer age, space age. See? Computers and satellites. It's still our mind again. Our minds bring this in. Not theirs. We creative force behind this. But they control it. Remember the story about Hidden Figures? They slipped out and told you that one. Where did they get a space program from? Out of Maya's sisters. It was more to it than that. I knew about that. There's more to it than that. Because they ain't going to tell you about the brothers part. They played in it. They're never going to show you brothers, wives, and white people. But they was able to get out there out of Maya's sisters. And they didn't have as much education as white boys did. See, a new age. Okay? New music, new mood. I'm getting going somewhere with this, brothers and sisters. And then ideology, a greater separation. Integration. For the demons, hybrid children, first house niggas, they was master children, sharecroppers, right? Eurocentric, and now integration. We will marry your daughters, right? We want to live next door to you, right? We want to part of you, American dream, the whole 9 yards, right? And then separation. Elijah Muhammad wing, and you see two together, Elijah Muhammad and Martin Luther King. Two separate visions, total visions. One get close to master, and one get further away. So the vision come greater, it's come very great in 19. Now, what's next? Now, 50 years later, what can we expect? Now, keep in mind that new innovation, the new technology, everything. Nobody could imagine it 20 years earlier. It'd be something nobody could imagine. Cars, right? Satellites and computers. And now something new about to come in. A new music. It's going to reflect our mood. Our mood will be victorious because now we've finally been victorious over these devils. We finally totally separated from them, right? And a new technology. That's why it says, I make all things new. A new technology is totally new that they can't get. They don't know what it is because it hasn't happened yet. But it's about to happen. A new music, because the mood, right? A mood's going to get more lifted. You understand? And then what? And now we got the final break because you got someone saying, we're going home, and someone said, no, we're going to stay here. We ain't going anywhere. Final division, final separate. Change. Finally broken. That's so whose side is Farrakhan on? He on sharecropper side? right? He on the house on the other side. What side is he on? Think about it. He on the Eurocentric, telling you to think analytical, think like the devils think. What side is he on? Think about it. That'll make it clear enough for you? See? Separation, reparation. Stay there with Massa. So they're going to stay. We're leaving. But I want to point out a couple things here, brothers and sisters. It might seem far-fetched, but everything's going to be new. Like you can't imagine. And it's about to happen in a few days. And that's one of the reasons why we have to get out of here. Because if you read the story of Adam and Eve, they got control of the knowledge, tree of knowledge of good and tree of knowledge of evil. You're going to see the degrees of knowledge. It was all about knowledge. Knowledge, because once they got knowledge, they became aware, knowledgeable. See? The whole story is about knowledge. But there's another tree of life. They have superior knowledge to all of that. Because if they get that knowledge, they'll be like us, as powerful as us, and they'll live forever. And they got that knowledge. That knowledge had to be removed from them. They removed from them. And we understand the knowledge is from us. We are the tree of life, and that we had to be taken away because they got their hands on us. Right? They'll be as powerful as us, and they will live forever. Because this is technology that is far beyond anything they can deal with, that they know. Because they know the knowledge, technology, computer stuff, they got that from us. Because no other European country produced anything like that. They haven't invented anything, no innovation whatsoever, zero. Only from America, so that means getting it from us. And so they want to get hold of us here to control over this new knowledge is coming in. Because they said if they get hold of this, it's all over. That's why we have to be taken out of here. That's what it says, Matt, I'm going to take us out of here just a nick of time. Because if they get hold of that, it says, you got to get true life away from them. Because they get hold of that. So we can't let them get this new knowledge. Understand that, brothers and sisters. See? And it's about to come through in a minute. As soon as that war takes place, Master Muhammad's time is perfect. Let's move on, brothers and sisters. What side's fire coming on? Give it to the devil. He said the devil's best friend. I bet he is. Okay, before we go in there, brothers and sisters, this is a rough little thing here. But I keep talking about the atmosphere. In a minute, bro, see, right now we don't have the strength to do it. Like if you're really weak and you didn't eat, like, you starved or whatever, and you didn't eat a long time, you can't open your eyes because it takes energy to do it. If you go watch a person dying from starvation, they tell you, they get to the point where they can't open their eyes. No energy. And that's strange. That's we can't tune in because we don't have enough energy to do it. But once we're able to do that, that's how our minds are all connected. Because once we tune in, it's like all our minds, it's like a conference call, something, all our minds are it's tuned in. So it has one gigantic mind that we all have access to. It's the ability that we can access it. Because if you're a foot cell, then you're not going to access it to the level of the brain cell, but you still be able to access it. To level all the knowledge you need to know to be a perfect foot cell. All the knowledge you need to know to be a heart cell. All the knowledge you need to know to be a perfect eye cell. You understand what I'm saying? See? So you don't have to go to school or anything because knowledge is there. But when we're in these schools, we have whole new technology make all things new. But your mind was more thousands more powerful than it is right now because you have access to all that knowledge. Mathematics and everything, you have access to all that. Your mind is like a cloud. That's what they call a cloud now because your mind is it's all connected. All the minds are connected. So it's one gigantic mind, but all your minds in there. What does that mean? That means your mind is not tied like it is right now, exclusively to your body. Because your mind is integrated into this whole thought atmosphere. It's integrated. Your mind is integrated into that. It's not just totally connected. It's not totally solely exclusive to your body. So your body can be renewed, and you won't lose your mind. Because that's what happens right now. Every 7 years, your brain, your cells in your body renew itself and upgrades to another cell identical to the one that before. But this cell, right, is adapted, has adapted to the environment that is in it till now. Because every 7 years, your environment is going to change. So that cell adapts to the environment that you, as you keep growing. So it ain't the same cell it's the identical cell that you was born with. It's just upgraded. If you're 21 years old, it's upgraded 3 times. Because now you're adult and you're doing different things. You have different kind of lifestyle and everything else. So it has to adjust to that. So probably every 1,000 years, we have a universal upgrade because we can't keep the same form we have right now. Because the universe is contracting, right? And so our experience is changing and the pressure is increasing. So we need to constantly upgrade our body to deal with that. You understand? So that means when you renew yourself, that's death. You get rid of your old body and you bring in a new, identical, but upgraded, and your mind is there, still right in the cloud. So you're still alive, you're not dead. You just got to upgrade your body. Hope you understand, but I'm trying to make this clear as possible. That's one of the things we'll live forever. We can't let them have anything that, well, they can't get into that whole stuff like that anyway. They got a whole different way they got. Their cyborg stuff and everything, I'm not going to that. Right? But they can't get there to, they get to, see, they have a thermosphere too, but they can't really connect up because they can't never tune in. And we can't get an ability to tune in. Now, if that's a suggestion that we can get an ability to, that's a long story. I'm not going there, bro. But they're on a different level. Like you have different pressures of water, pressures of air. They're on the lower, right, on lower level. You see? Because when they moved into I shouldn't even go there, bro. When they said it said from the days of John, the kingdom of heaven has been taken by violence. See, that means they moved into the Middle East in 1990. Well, you don't understand this, brothers and sisters, but they also moved into the thought atmosphere. And that's when I broke the shield, and I was in the thought atmosphere right there to do battle with them. But I'm much more powerful than them because they just barely got into it. And that's when I'm doing battle with them right now because they're doing it on a low level. They're not doing it with their mind like what we would do. They're doing it with their media. Because if you notice the media, whole nature changed after 1990. That's how far they can get to the atmosphere as far as their media. There's propaganda, lies, all that kind of stuff to confuse you. And I'm battling with high pressure, because they're in there with low pressure. And high pressure destroys low pressure. Their low pressure is ID lies and stuff they're telling. See? And they can only affect low pressure minds. But if I increase the pressure of our minds, right, they can't affect you anymore. That's my job, to increase the pressure of mind, increase Lazarus' pressure, so he's not affected by, because that's where the battle is right now with me and them, in the atmosphere. They're also battling on the atmosphere, because it says that the prince of the power of the air, but Master Muhammad is the king of the power of the air. So he's doing battle with them on the atmosphere level. I'm doing battle with them on the atmosphere level. Hope you understand, brothers and sisters. Yo, strange sounds. I got a ghost in here, brothers and sisters. It ain't got me yet, but I got one in here. You understand, brothers and sisters? Hope you understand that. So, you will live for, if you're in the atmosphere and you make it out of here, right? Your mind will live forever. Your body will constantly change. Your body will die and get renewed, but your mind will live forever in the thought atmosphere. All you gotta do is you lose your body, but your mind will be there. See? It's connected, it's integrated. Hope you understand, brothers and sisters. Let's move on. What's going on here? Now, this new technology, I'm going to give you little hints of it, brothers and sisters, but it's far more than I'm telling you. But one of the things, see, the Industrial Revolution depended on oil. They didn't depend on oil before that. Industrial Revolution was motivated by oil. They need oil to keep it going. Industrial Revolution and the next revolution after aerodynamics, then oil was the fuel for it. But we don't need that. Because we have a new, different, new source of energy. We wanted them to use that. That's a whole other story. I said we wanted to get that stuff out of the ground. But we have a different source of energy altogether that they have no idea about. See? Matter of fact, how to use that technology for those planes defy gravity. They don't have any technology. They have no idea even how to do it. In fact, they have the wrong idea about how gravity works to begin with. See? But that our technology based on, because like magnets, do magnets need fuel? They work, they have all that, they do things, they don't need any fuel. Because we have a whole different technology we're not going to get their hands on. And one of it is anti-gravity, be able to defeat gravity. That's just one of them. That's one of the more powerful ones. See? And so I'm showing this picture. I'm just showing you this picture, bro, to show you, give you some idea, especially sisters, what you want, some idea what you're gonna look like. Because we don't know what we'd be like. We know we'd be like him. So that means if they say you don't know what you're gonna be like, that means you're not gonna be like you are right now. If you know what you're gonna be like, that means you're not gonna be like you are right now. Don't you get it? You're gonna be something different. Now you're not gonna grow biological wings. You're not gonna do anything like that. See? They're going to be a tool, not like some big backpack you got like it. Now, it's going to be some very sophisticated. You probably know it's there, but it's motivated by thought, just like the rest of your body. Don't tell me that's not happening, because right now they're doing what they call mechanical things, and they make it move by thought. But we can do much better than that. So it's going to be a biological, mechanical structure, right? That we use, and it won't be no more than like, right? Putting on a belt or something. I mean, it'd be hardly noticeable. We didn't notice it, but it'd be wings. Because once you have anti-gravity, you don't have any weight. Right? That means you float in the air. If you're in the wind, you float in the air. If you're too light in the air, you float above the air, right? But so the purpose of wings is not to lift you up, it's just to control your movement. Three-dimensional, because right now we only have two-dimensional movement. See, birds have three-dimensional. This way, that way, and then they go up and down, fly up and down. We only have this way and that way. See, we used to have three-dimensional long way back, because everything came from us, brothers and sisters. We used to have flat, we used to do all that stuff. I'm not going to that. But the point is that that's not how we're going to get around the universe. No, we have our own vehicles. That's how we're going to go from one state to another, whatever kind of cities we have. No, that's just like walking around. Walking around, you know. So you don't need ladders and stuff. Go up to the roof. Whoop. Because see, for birds, wings lift them up. Because they have weight. So we don't have any weight, so we don't need wings. You don't have to use energy for that. Just to control if we go up, down, sideways, whatever. How fast we move. See? And you think your sisters are beautiful now? Where did they get that set of wings? It won't require any fuel. I'm just giving a hint, brothers and sisters. Say, you don't know what you'll be like? That means you're not going to be like you are right now. Say, we change a twinkle of an eye. I'm trying to give you a hint. Say, brother, right there in the center there. Our bodies will be I mentioned that yesterday. I'm a little bit. The choir says you get a drink. Doesn't tell all the specifics, but you get a drink that you drink, and this drink will give you basically eternal youth. Because as long as you live alive, you stay youthful and strong and vibrant, not weak and flabby. It says that the sisters, they could be 500 pounds right now. They'd be back down to normal 150 pounds or whatever. Some of these sisters, they're so they're so beautiful, but they're so small, right? And we got little small little feet and everything. We love it, right? I don't, brother, sister, if you got big feet, don't get mad. Don't get mad at me, right? But I like women with small feet, but I like all women. So let me shut up. Anyway, says that the breast, the Quran tells their breasts be firm, just like they was virgins. Because you go back, everything's going to be reversed. It says, the God says, He will return all the years that the locusts ate. That's the demons. Talking about the locusts of demons. The demons ate up. So you be looking like that and better, more better. This is you can look at better in these pictures. Perfect and useful all your life. If it is 1,000 years. And like I said, then you regenerate, upgrade, and get a new body all over again. And your mind is just, you haven't lost it, you just reboot it. Hope you understand, brothers and sisters. That's your future. I'm just giving some hints. See? Now this is a city, this they say futuristic city. This ain't nothing kind of compared to city. We're gonna have nothing. I'm just giving you an example. See? Just give you something to think about. City be much more advanced than this. We'll need any electric wires and all that kind of stuff. Okay. I would talk about remote control. We'll be watching TV. When you watch TV before, when you live in a life, what do they call it? A life, reality TV. Your whole life be reality with TV. You can watch no TV and all that kind of stuff. What are you doing all that? Because you're going to be living a life. Not just here on other planets. The whole universe, God is wiser than heaven and earth. Brothers and sisters, what you got planned for you, and we ain't talking about years no more. You're going to start witnessing this very soon. When the war break out, once that war breaks out, and that could break any day, it says God said, "Will hasten this." Okay, brothers and sisters, let's see, is there anything else here? Oops. Did I do something wrong here? Oh, no. Oh, boy. Okay. Let's move on. Okay, I might cut some of this short, brothers and sisters, because, I don't know, let me think about it. Bring the pride of their power. If you pay attention, they talking about these wars, this petrol war, running out of diesel. I got this brass triangle here. Falzil's trying to steal the ID, right? That set them up there because they claim they're supposed to give everybody the idea that they're true to Abraham, because if false Israel is God's chosen people, that means they are too, because they're all Europeans. They're the other 11 tribes. See? Plus the oil that fuels all of this. All that's coming out of the Middle East. See? And they control the Holy Land. They have control it because they control House of Saul, because they made an agreement that will keep you in power as long as He gives cheap oil. And so now they control of our land, control of our resources, and control our image. That means that's like the certification. See, I got notarized, man. So that proves that we're the ones, that we're the true Abraham, we're the gods. And when Matthew breaks that, destroys it, that's when he breaks the pride of their power. When he breaks that, that means they were liars. We're true Abraham, and then all hell breaks loose. Keep that in mind, brothers and sisters. Well, I got to talk about this. The mirror image. Keep that in mind. I'm going to move past the image. Mirror image is one, right? Total opposite of the other. But it's the mirror image. And sometimes you can't distinguish between the real image and the mirror image. See, because you could be shooting at the mirror image, they won't harm the image at all. Because they got you shooting at the mirror image, and the real image is safe because you can't distinguish between the two. Keep that in mind, brothers and sisters. Because this is a great trick they use. Consequence, perfect consequence is a mirror image, like eye for eye, tooth for tooth. But it's the image. Because it's the mirror image. Because here you do this thing, then you have a consequence. So 2 plus 3, 2 plus 3. 2 plus 3 on the side, and you measure 2 plus 3 on the side, and 3 plus 2 on that side. Perfect, right? It's a mirror image, but it's perfect. 2 plus 3, 3 plus 2. Okay? But if you trick someone thinking the mirror image is the image, then you have to go after something false, and you recognize something, and when you get it, there's nothing there. You grab it, ain't nothing there. Because you went after the mirror image. See? And that's they have you got the mirror image in Scripture. Let me try to explain this in the simplest word I can. They're telling, in the story, they're talking about Holocaust. They don't call it Holocaust, they're talking about all this suffering that Israel, they don't call us Israel, but they still say we're doing the suffering, where there's going to be this famine, cannibalism, oppression, right? Rape, murder, the whole thing. Some people going to do it because they've been punished. You know the story. God's going to punish people, right? And the wives going to be ravaged, the children going to be burned, they're going to be starving. I mean, they wish the night was day and day was night, and it's going to be horrible. They're going to lose their mind. All this terrible stuff is supposed to happen to these people, right? As a punishment. See? So Farrakhan says that's happened to us, so that was a punishment. So that's his interpretation, but look at it carefully. Now in the scripture, when you read that in there, if you read it carefully, it says that after that punishment, they went into captivity. After that punishment, God drove them into captivity. After the punishment, they was punished in their land. And then they were driven out of the land into captivity. Remember, they was punished in their land and then driven out of the land into captivity. What happened to us is just the opposite of that. We were in our land, was taken out of our land into captivity. And then we suffered the Holocaust. Just the opposite. Just the opposite. We was taken into captivity, right? That's on the bottom. We suffered the Holocaust, and now, according to Abraham's covenant, we're going to the promised land. But the other people says they was in their promised land, they suffered this horror, and then they went into captivity. That's talking about America. Because this is their promised land, and this is where they're going to suffer everything they did to us. Remember, because both of them are going to suffer. But one is a punishment. One is oppression. For us, it was oppression. Theirs is the consequence of it. So they're going to suffer. That's why it says it's talking about them, because after they suffer all this, then they're going into captivity. Same thing as Babylon, false Babylon. Once they were taken down in their country, their promised land. Famine and persecution, everything else, and then they went into captivity. That's the truth. So read it carefully, because talking about them, they give you the mirror image and tell you that's you. See? But the mirror image is them, because the mirror image is reflecting the image of what they did to us. So it's going to happen to them in reverse. Understand, brothers and sisters? Think about that. It's one of the biggest tricks they use. Okay, we're pretty much finished here. I'm just gonna go quickly through this. This I was trying to explain about. I'm not gonna talk in depth about this. I was trying to explain about what it means about dragons. Michael, that's about to happen. That's gonna break your pride and power. Michael's angels go against the dragon's angels. The dragon represents House of Saw. I'm not going into details. That represents the dragon. Right? Master Muhammad is Michael. Right? Okay. So let me show a couple things here. I'm going to mask out Master Muhammad because he's the God of our nation. Our nation been corrupted for 40 years of rape to half of his demons. So 17 million demons have 17 million original people. So there you go. Now you got the dragon as angels. Who is angels? America, Britain, false Israel, God, make God, and the Antichrist. Okay? Okay, so now, who is Michael's angels? Okay, here's Michael. His angels are the Shia, Iran, Syria, but you're going to see it in a minute. Because they go to war. A war breaks out in heaven, they go to war. So what happens? Now they're at war. Who's at war? Michael's angels? Fighting the dragon as angels. See? There it is right there. So you can't see it in the long version, but you see it in this version. We have two constructs, angel key construct. This is one of them. So now that's what it means, brothers and sisters. And then what's the end of that? What's the result of it? The result of it? Michael's angels prevail. Right? They kick America and Britain out of the Middle East. False Israel is surrounded by armies. Means destruction is nigh. They said, we see Jerusalem surrounded by armies, destruction is nigh. And America's cast down. They're at war in Europe now. European countries. Right? Also with China. That's North Star, not go there today. Britain is cast out. False Israel surrounded, about to be destroyed, taken down. And if you understand the angel key, America is the mouth there. Who's being consumed? So they attack all the black people. Like I said, Bones, to those of you been studying that too, I can go deeper and deeper in this. But if you don't understand the basic, I can't go. I'm showing you things that I've never showed you before. Because it's there. A lot more I can show you. But if you don't know how to add, what's the point of me trying to show you how to multiply? Because this perfectly shows exactly, because the long version doesn't tell you how Michael and angel and dragon, how to get together, because they don't come together that way. But when you put it this way, it comes together perfectly. And then it talks about the whole thing about them eating us, all of us, attacking all of us, America attacking all of us. Then false Israel's taken out. All hell breaks loose, because now we're the true Savior, and that's universally known, right? Okay, I'm leaving there, bro. Says I'm not gonna go. I'm just gonna page through this. I already talked about it. My voice is just about going, so I'm just gonna just walk through it. I'm not gonna comment. Just look at my previous presentations. I comment, explain it all. That's the demons taken out. And just separate out from us. Mm-hmm. War latter days. God attacks us. We're home safe. Not surrounded by walls. The true is real. False Israel is not real. And it wiped out. And that's pretty much it, bro. Since I'm gonna leave it there. Hope you understand. Did I cover everything I wanted to cover? Well, small things, but like I said, small things that what happened. Oh, I lost my voice on that one? What happened there? Oh well. Okay. Looks like, wow. Good thing I got a backup, bro, sisters. Okay, let me. Assalamu alaikum. Wow. It took it, killed my voice.